Hey, what's up, everybody? I just want to talk about Mike Tyson and his issues with Jake Paul. You've heard me break down in previous videos why this fight I thought was like basically a sham, and yeah, of course it's a money grab and all that obvious stuff that you would all know. Here's my mic. Let me get my mic a little closer. But I'm gonna just break down probably on why this fight will never happen. So Mike Tyson has recent health issues, unfortunately. He has an ulcer. I looked it up. It's like the lining of the stomach or something like that. I was reading about what it can do, why it's bad if you're training and stuff like this when you have such a problem. Hopefully he gets better soon, by the way. Love Mike Tyson. I think he doesn't belong in the ring, ruining and tarnishing his legacy. Let's leave it as it was. But he's fighting this guy, Jake Paul. If you don't know, real quick, Jake Paul is just some YouTube star, has a big, really young following, and they'll pay and buy anything that he's involved with. So, of course, it's attractive to Mike Tyson to go in there and make some money, which is fine. But it's a total cash grabs. Netflix figures they'll get new subscribers through this, and it's good for their platform. So, one time this Jake Paul guy doesn't fight a fighter. He's fighting like middle-aged UFC guys. Anyone, a guy, I wouldn't even be surprised if he fought a soccer player. I don't really follow him, so I don't know who he's fought, all of his opponents, but I do know he fought and he wins against middle-aged, really older people or people that are just not professional boxers. He's got some skills, very limited skills. He's more like, what was that guy's name in the 80s? Mark Gastineau? Some football player tried to box. He's like if someone just decided to be a boxer and they're not a professional fighter. Sorry if I'm getting some lag here. I'm running a bunch of programs. But anyway, the one time he steps up, it's against a little bit of a name, Tommy Fury, because obviously Tyson Fury's his brother, so they went off that name, and he loses. The guy is a professional journeyman. I have to be called like it is. In boxing, a journeyman is basically a palooka. A palooka, you ever watch Pulp Fiction? When Bruce Willis is staring down John Travolta at the bar, and he goes something like, John Travolta, get out of my way, palooka. And then Bruce Willis is staring at him like, because he's a boxer who loses a lot. He's like, what did you say? And then John Travolta says, you heard me, Punchy. So that's what basically Tommy Fury is basically like a journeyman fighter. He'll never be a real world champion. Although this day and age in boxing, it's such a joke now. They have a million trinkets. They have titles for everything. They have a ton of titles. And nobody, the average person, doesn't really know who the real champion is because there's so many made-up belts because it's all corrupt and it's not regulated. You could see my frustration. Why am I even talking about boxing on this channel anymore? It's called Millionaire Move Show. I might change everything and just talk about whatever, because this is just disturbing. As much as I know about boxing, I grew up on it. It's the only sport I watch. It's sickening. For a boxing fan, it's sickening. So anyway, I wanna say that despite what you hear, this is just from a boxing fan's point of view and a Mike Tyson fan. I think that they're not going to fight. I think this thing's a scam. I think this is the first sign of the crumbling. They said they're going to reschedule, but I think there's a good chance that Mike Tyson is going to have something else happen. I think it's all going to fall apart unless we see them walking into the ring on the night of, and then it's still not even real. It's like wrestling. Nobody's getting carried out in a stretcher. I read some posts, oh, Jake Paul's going to get knocked out and carried out in a stretcher. Clickbait headlines. Charity Atlas, I'm just making this up. I can imagine. Charity Atlas warns Jake Paul, be careful in round one. So revealing, really. So it's all about money. These people depend on this cash. They depend on their clicks. They depend on their views. So you make it as sensational as you can make it, and you get clicks. And now you got legacy media. If you don't know, legacy media on TV is now competing with internet media. Everybody, TikTokers, Instagram, YouTube. So everything's sensationalized, clickbait, headlines. I'm even guilty of it, and I'm not even making a living off it. Go figure. I mean, you got people competing with me, some lame, I think it's Boxing Today, one of these channels, who hit me with a hard copyright strike on fair use. The guy is literally using fair use himself, showing clips of Fury and Tim Bradley and everyone in the boxing world with a robot talking over it. I show it, I talk over their video clip, and they get me a hard strike. And it was a lot of viewed videos. So this person saw me as their competition. Some bum behind a lame channel. Dude, good luck with the 401k plan or retirement benefits. You're going to get none of that on YouTube. So you got some loser running around violating people's copyrights by hard striking them on what is my right, which is fair use. And while they're using fair use videos, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off when I think about it. I wrote the guy a nice letter, the person. It's a robot voice channel. It's all automated. But they never wrote me back, of course, because they have no, they just have no leg to stand on. I'm not going to counterclaim. It's not worth it. In fact, even if it was any legitimate fair use situation, I'm not going to counterclaim. It's just not worth it. So you got a bunch of copyright trolls out there looking to hit people with lawsuits off of clips, trying to shake them down for $2 or $3 grand per clip or whatever. That's a whole nother story. But I don't want to say the word ID with a D because it's very cliche. But I'm just saying, this fight, in my opinion, there's a good chance right now, and I won't be surprised if it doesn't happen. That's what the title's going to be. Why this fight will never happen. Tyson has an ulcer issue. He's going to be 58 the night they fight. Maybe he's really thinking like, okay, maybe I will ruin my legacy a little bit here. Even though he lost his last professional bouts, I think 2 of them, Tyson was just tired. He was in his late 30s. He had no gas in the tank. They give you quick clips of him on Instagram fighting, looking good in the clip. You could be 80 and look good in a real good clip if you get the right energy level that day. If you're healthy enough. But yeah, I just think Jake Paul could easily run around him at this stage of the game and just avoid a bomb, easily win on the cards. So maybe their agreement is like, hey, we're not going to go for a knockout, but we're going to have a pitter-pat amateur or a professional exhibition sparring session, not amateur, sparring session in there, and we'll make a couple million, hopefully. So I think Tyson's probably like, well, wait a minute, this might not, maybe this is not going to be good for me. But then again, he can make a couple million real quick, but I'm going to just lean towards him not even fighting because you got the ulcer issue. Then they might find something else and it might all crumble. It might just disintegrate this whole fight. And then they're going to be looking to replace Mike Tyson with Roy Jones, because Roy Jones certainly will probably get in there because I heard he needs the money for sure, whereas Tyson probably has a little bit more marketing things going on from what I've read and from what I understand, more marketing ability, and his name is more than Roy Jones Jr.'s, more valued, if you will, even though Roy Jones is a superb ring legend, of course. So anyway, this is all like smoke and mirrors, a lot of it. And when you read these headlines and when you read these articles and when you see these videos, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. It's about getting the quick view, the quick buck, and everything. I mean, don't you guys know? I mean, everyone knows. People would rather hear a clickbait, sensationalized, made-up narrative in a video where some of them even think it's real, where there's some robot rambling about boxing. And it's making stuff up. Just Devin Haney's going to fight Gervonta Davis, and this was leaked in the title. And there's nothing. It's all made up from the robot. And it showed clips, real quick clips. It's a really quick adrenaline rush or some type of dopamine rush maybe for a boxing fan. But then when you realize what the robot's saying or what the narrative of the news, of the sports news is in these videos, they're totally made up, a lot of them, from what I've seen. And it's all about getting attention, getting clicks and views. Anyway, I'm out. Let's see what happens.